Hi, I'm Doug.
And I'm Cathy.
And this is Maggie Mae.
She's in the backpack.
Join us as we follow the moon. Today, come along with us. We're starting off at the top of Cinder Cone Mountain. This has got a beautiful overlook back behind us of Snow Canyon.
Yes, this is a part of Snow Canyon.
The state park here in southern Utah. So we're going to bring you along on the hike that got us up here and show you a lot of other amazing things that you'll only find in southwest Utah.
That's right, come along.
If you haven't experienced southwest Utah yet, you have to do it. And we're going to show you why. Doesn't matter what you like, you're going to find it here.
That's right.
And we're going to start off at a dormant volcano. And you can see before it was dormant, it spewed a lot of lava.
It sure did.
Cinder Cone is actually just north of Snow Canyon. It's actually part of the Snow Canyon State Park, but it's actually located out on the highway with its own separate entrance. This trail is not terribly long. It's just shy of an hour to the top, but it is a little bit challenging.
It sure is.
It's got some steep climbs. It's got some a lot of the lava to walk over, and it can be rather slick because it's like little ball bearings.
That's right. And you want to make sure you're wearing really good shoes, but you also want to go early in the day because it got really hot.
And take plenty of water.
There's no shade.
Yeah. You kind of go around the back of it and you'll see this fence, dangerous animals. I felt like we were at Jurassic Park there, but we didn't see any T-Rexes or anything out there. So, and then here's where you start. Once you get around to the back, here's where you really start with the climb. And the lava flows just are everywhere. And that's where we're going. When you get to the top, it's interesting because the lava has turned from black to red.
Yeah.
And when you're at the top, you not only have a beautiful view of the countryside, but you can look down in there.
You can actually hike down in there. It was getting so warm, we knew that if we hiked down in, we'd have to hike back up and to then down the trail to get out. So.
And up was not a direction we were either one too keen about.
We were done with up.
But there's a trail that goes all the way around the rim, so you can hike around the rim and you can actually hike down in it. And the view you've got from up there is incredible.
Oh, it really is.
And you can see a lot of black out there in the distance, and that is all lava flow from it.
Mm-hmm.
Even across that road, which you know wasn't there 500 million years ago.
That's right.
And there's other ones that look like they were doing the same thing this one was. That's a great hike, though. Now our next stop is Red Cliffs Recreation Area. This is BLM land, and if you've watched our video on the 3 ghost towns, we'll put a link at the top. This is actually on the same property that the Adams house was.
Yes.
And you go past the Adams house and on back into the park. They've got a parking area. They've got a campground that we'll show you in a few moments. And they've got several trails. And we ended up, while we were there, started off on one trail, took another trail kind of to connect to a third trail.
Yeah, you can zigzag around in that area, that's for sure, and you don't get lost because the mountains are all on the one side. Mm-hmm. So you don't really get turned around.
So you walk back by the campground to hit this trail, and there's 2 basic things back here we wanted to see, and so that's why we did the 2 trails with the one to connect the 2, and we'll show you why as we go. This is the first trail. It is got a little bit of an elevation climb to it, but not bad. It's a pretty easy trail. You have to watch the heat again. Late September, and we were hitting upper 90s and low 100s.
And it was the trail was pretty clean where you could see, you can see the brush there, but we didn't see snakes and things. Just,
Yeah.
it was easy to see where you were going.
Now, once you get to the top of this trail, this is where the archaeological ruins are. That was one of the two things we came up here to see. These are ancient, historic Native American ruins. There's a couple of kivas up there, and then there is almost like a half a circle of foundations, all interconnected, that were rooms that were housing. They've surrounded them by fence to keep them protected there, but very easy to see. I mean, the fence is right up to them.
They had a nice view.
Absolutely. So on our way back, we come to the trail marker, and we're going to turn to the right. This is the little trail that connected. It comes out to this dry wash area, and there's where you continue up the dry wash. Here you've got a little bit of a climb. It looks like it's a lot worse than what it is. And you get over that little hill, and you've got just a short distance, but some beautiful views. And from there, that empties out into the back of the campground. These campsites are nice.
Oh, they sure were.
And they do have restroom facilities and everything back there. This one, you actually go up by the restroom, and the trailhead goes off right there. This was the other trail that we particularly wanted to go to. And if you'll notice, that trail marker's got that funny looking symbol on the top. And that symbol was a 3-footed footprint. This area has dinosaur tracks. And I think this part of the trail was only a half a mile long. It was definitely worth it. It was probably 2/10, if that, to get back to the footprints.
And they were obvious.
Yeah, very easy to see, but and big.
Yeah.
You can tell that there was some size and some weight to that creature. And yeah, you can definitely kind of see the size of them there when you put a person right there with them. From there, we just came back down the hill. We actually hiked back through the campground to get back out to the parking area. But look at the views you've got.
Oh, yeah, it was just so beautiful.
Now, this next one is up in Kanab, and this is Sand Caves. This is one we were real excited about. And this was a wah-wah for us, but it was still worth it.
It was only because you have to know your limitations, and when your back is the center of gravity is thrown off from wearing a backpack, you're maybe a little less sure-footed.
Mm-hmm.
Those are some steep rocks to climb up.
It is pet friendly, and we did see some people taking big dogs up there. This was really neat. These are not like ancient petroglyphs, but they're just old.
Yeah.
They're history. But this slick rock is what you have to go up towards the left, and then it turns and comes back around to the right. And I swear some people are half billy goat because they're going up there no problem. And we got halfway up, and I was just slipping and sliding, and I didn't feel safe, especially with Maggie and the backpack on my back. So we turned around and came back down. The hike was still worth it, and just be aware of it. If you're good with that sort of thing, this is a great hike. And you see those holes up there in the rock? That's what you eventually come back over to. And they are like interconnected as caves, and you'll see people up in there. It was really neat.
They were big.
I would love to have made it up there, but like she said, know your limits, and I didn't want to put me or Maggie in jeopardy.
Yeah, you just don't want to take that kind of risk. It sounds exciting. It's kind of like, I don't know, it's foolish.
Our next stop, Arch on Johnson Canyon Trail. Now this is the south parking entrance, again, to Snow Canyon. And if you haven't seen the Snow Canyon video, be sure and watch it, because you're going to see everything within the park.
Yeah.
It's incredible. It's one of the most fantastic areas in hiking that we've been on.
We liked it so much we went 3 times.
Yes. And part of that also is because we tried to get out there early, because by 1 o'clock in the afternoon, you don't want to be out there.
Yeah.
So this again goes past a little bit of a lava flow. It's an easy hike. It is like walking the beach. The sand is so soft.
It is soft. This is definitely a hike you've got to take.
This is probably, out of the entire area, this was probably my favorite.
Yeah. Now this will take you, what were we, about 2 hours?
Yeah, and considering we go slow because of shooting pictures and shooting video, see that rock out there in the middle? We were trying to figure out if that was an eel face or a snake face or what that was. But you go past that crater with the big rock in it, and goes around a curve, and then you start to look back in this canyon, and it is just amazing.
Once you get in the shade, it's nice and cool.
Mm-hmm. The first part and the very last part, you're going to be in the sun, but that whole part going back towards that canyon, you can see there, it's all shaded going back in there. That helps a lot. And you'll hear water back in there. It's kind of a little oasis. There's cottonwoods back in there. All kinds of birds.
Oh, yeah.
The sounds of the birds were amazing. And again, historic writing on the walls, not petroglyphs or anything, but you can tell.
I think that was 1800s.
Yeah, that's history.
Yep.
And then you come to this arch, and the arch is 200 feet from side to side. So, to give you an idea, 2/3 of a football field, that arch is huge. And you'll see the light coming through from the top.
They do kind of have that blocked off. They don't want you climbing back up in there. It's a little.
It's a little dicey up there. A lot of loose rock.
But don't stop.
Keep going.
Keep going. It's kind of billed as the arch is the thing to see, but you want to keep going.
Yeah, this entire canyon is just amazing. And at the very back, that's where you hear the water the strongest. You can see there's a little pool back in there. And then you're at the end of the trail, because there's nowhere else for it to go. On the way back out, we had our first encounter with a desert tortoise.
And he was friendly.
Yep, he was just sitting there watching us. So I went around, he tucked his head in real quick, and then he was mobile from then on.
He was so cool.
He was good size.
And beautiful. Look at that.
When he's out here on the trail, he was fine. He started to go up the side of the hill, and we had a couple other people come along, and one of them started to go up towards him. You could hear him hiss.
Oh, and he was booking it.
And he or she, I'm not sure, but I think there was probably a nest back there.
Yeah, it could have been a she.
Now the next one, this is back up towards Kanab at Mount Carmel. This is Belly of the Dragon, and that's that hole you see. The highway actually is going across above this, and it's a little tricky to find, but it's the last left turn as you go into Mount Carmel, and you'll see campers out there because it is BLM land. And you can kind of
so
understand
cool,
the
yeah.
name Belly of the Dragon. It reminded me of being in the whale.
And you want to pay attention when you first go into it. There's a huge log there that's petrified.
That you're actually going to step on or
Yeah,
step over
yeah.
it without even realizing what it is. And yes, when you start to get towards the other end, you start to see the daylight.
Yeah.
It does have a little bit of a curve there to it.
And you want to take a flashlight?
Yep, definitely. And be sure that it has good batteries.
And that's mainly because the ground, if you look there, you've got a lot of rock on the ground, and if you're not paying attention, you could trip.
Absolutely.
So
we didn't go on the trail. I guess there's a 1.8 mile
yeah.
trail that went from here on out.
And it was hot.
We wanted to see the Belly of the Dragon,
Yeah,
so that's
yeah.
what we came for. This is on the opposite side where you come out. That was really neat, and it was so much cooler inside
oh
that.
yeah.
And it's big. Now, our last stop is going to be Moqui Cave. This is also at Kanab. And Moqui Cave, this was a natural cave, and they've put an entrance on it. But back in the 1950s, this family bought this cave. And it was a saloon,
A dance hall.
And this fella here, Lex Barker, was one of the original Tarzans, but he did a couple of Western movies out here, and this cave was used at that point. It was the saloon and dance hall. It was used in that movie. There's some dinosaur tracks they've got out in front, and they've got tons of them inside. But he eventually wanted to turn it into a museum, and that's what he's done. So as you go in, you'll see the dinosaur tracks. You see some pictures of what it looked like back in the day. And the fellow there in the blue shirt is one of his grandsons. There were several of his grandsons working there that day doing tours.
And there were a lot of famous actors doing westerns, and this was their gathering place.
That was the original bar from the days of when it was a bar.
Yeah.
And then one area of the cave you go back into, and it's got all these artifacts. I guess he's gathered all,
Yeah,
if not.
it sounded like his grandfather or whatever he was, great-grandfather, collected all of this himself.
And there's some amazing artifacts.
Yeah.
There's also this area of luminescent rocks, and they've been found throughout the South and West.
So cool.
They do have markers on them that say where they all came from. Well, Kathy, what did you think about our explorations of southwestern Utah?
It's pretty cool. It really is. There's so much. I'm just kind of blown away.
And we've only shown you just a small part, but we've tried to show you the variety of things, and no matter what it is that you want to look for and explore, it's here.
It sure is.
So with that, if you've enjoyed our video today, leave us a thumbs up. We sure appreciate it. If you haven't already subscribed to our channel, watch for the dot up in this corner at the end of the video. Tap that dot, ring the notification bell. You'll know when every one of our videos come out.
And thank you for following us as we follow the moon.